Hi, my name is Praneet Singh, and today I'm doing a biography on Albert Einstein.
Hi, my name is Yashasvi Casey.
Hi, my name is Bimla Gandhi.
Hi, my name is Kailash Khatri.
Hi, my name is Kiran Singh.
Hi, my name is Praveen Singh.
So, most people know Albert Einstein as a genius, but a lot of people can't tell you what he did to become one. Einstein's life can teach us all the will to reach a common goal, no matter the obstacle. His life reveals the treacherous path towards revolutionary or modern understanding of the cosmos. Although I never got to meet Einstein, I've always read books about the great man to understand how he became such an iconic genius. Albert Einstein became a genius because he was curious, rebellious, and resilient. He didn't become an overnight sensation. Rather, it started with this peculiar sense of curiosity that a normal person would not think about. Einstein's curiosity showed up at a very young age. Here he's looking dapper. That's when he was 16 years old, going to high school. When Einstein was 5 years old and sick in bed, his father gave him a compass. Einstein wondered what mysterious force was causing the needle to move. To Einstein, there had to be something that was deeply hidden. At the tender age of just 16, Einstein wondered what it would be like to chase a beam of light. For his crown achievement, general relativity, Einstein at his patent office saw some construction workers working on a nearby building. He imagined what it would be like for one of them to fall to the ground. His discovery was that they would feel weightless. In other words, gravitation and acceleration are the same thing. Combined with Einstein's curiosity was a rebelliousness that turned many people off, but also in the process revolutionized our world. As a 16-year-old, one of Einstein's professors told his father Einstein, will never amount to anything. However, Einstein rebelled continuously against his professors. He resented the way dogmatic efforts were made by the teacher and felt education did not give him the freedom that he sought so that his ideas could flourish. He hated the strict rules of classrooms in rote learning and memorization. Although his family was religious, Einstein did not believe in a God, unlike his sister, who conformed to the family's Jewish customs. As he once exclaimed, "Long live impudence." Furthermore, scientists at the time believed there was an ether that light went through as a medium. Einstein had the courage to revolutionize our thinking of the speed of light in two ways. He declared that there was no such thing as the ether and that the speed of light is constant in all inertial frames. When it came to finding a job after graduating high school, Einstein couldn't. Instead, he was rejected time and again by distinguished professors where he wanted to teach. Even after Einstein's father wrote to a famous physics professor expressing the gratitude of giving his son some advice and helping his son with an assistant professorship position, the professor never replied to offer Einstein any job position. Yet Einstein persisted, asking his close family members and friends. Luckily, his close school friend Marcel Grossman helped him find a job as a patent clerk. Einstein was able to show that time is not the same for everyone. This was going everything against what scientists had come to believe since Newton's classical mechanics theory. I mean, we experience time in constant ways where it doesn't change, so how can it be different? He showed that it's due to the fact that we simply don't travel at the fast as speed of light. But suppose we somehow had this magic ability to travel at such a speed, then time would slow down for a lot of us relative to someone living on Earth. I won't get into other consequences of this since this is not a physics course, but one of the consequences is that you would age slowly compared to someone living on Earth. Einstein ushered mankind from an absolute to a relativistic universe where things aren't as straightforward as scientists had imagined at the time. The fact that Einstein believed in himself and had the courage was good, but now he had to prove his ideas to the world. That was much easier said than done. That required a never-give-up attitude, something that served him well. While many people mistake Einstein's genius as a sort of ability where ideas came to him naturally, it was anything but when you actually dig down to the details. It took Einstein 10 arduous years to come up with special relativity dating back to the light beam thought experiment when he was only 16. This was the theory where Einstein laid down the laws for objects moving at a constant speed and declared the speed of light as being constant, no matter one's frame of reference. It was radical in the sense that he united space and time, which were at the time thought of separate entities. Most importantly, it was also his discovery of what is now dubbed as the most famous equation, as you guys see here, in E equals mc squared. We've all heard of it, even though we may not know what it means. This basically explains the fact that matter and energy are the same thing where they can be converted into one another. Moving to his masterpiece, or what many physicists would argue is his greatest work, is the theory of general relativity. This is an elegant theory that can be summed up in one equation, yet it has opened our window on the universe like never before. It tells us that what we feel as gravity that keeps us on the ground is just a manifestation of the curvature. One can view it as a sort of trampoline where the sun creates a curve in which the Earth rotates around the curvature. It took him 8 years to complete the theory with many setbacks and different paths along the way and assistance from friends and colleagues in finally being able to publish his radical theory to the world. It would have ended, this is just an example of general relativity as you guys see here. It would have been easy for Einstein to just throw in the towel and just admit the fact that he will never be able to prove his theory because it's just flat out wrong. Yet he had this persistence combined with a sense of belief that he was right and he was going out there to prove it. I mean, it's staggering to think of the different examples and the world we'd be living in without general relativity. For example, the GPS depends on relativity's equations, and the satellites have to take into account the various signals and your position in space and time. Another example is gravitational waves. Something that was just recently discovered in 2016. Last but not least, Einstein never stopped working with all the problems that was going on in his life and the culture as a whole in Germany at the time. He continuously fought with his first wife over having to take care of the family while working continuously. Eventually, they got a divorce, but this was during a time in World War I where men and women were being enlisted into the army, and even during the rise of the Nazis in the 1920s and 30s. Einstein always had paper and pencil along with his laser-like focus where nothing around him mattered. He continuously churned out one paper after another, ranging all topics from a simple explanation of why the sky is blue to complicated matters in quantum physics. Since Einstein was a Jew, he did experience hate against Jews and violence was palpable. Yet he kept going, not letting all that noise and fuss get to him and things that did not matter. Through struggles in his family, he showed us that in many ways he made mistakes and was mortal like the rest of us. Yet his scientific life was incomparable to any of his contemporaries due to the ideas that he came up with simply by looking at the world in a new way. His fingerprints are all over the world today, from the micro to the macro, whether it's something as simple as heating a food in a microwave or using a GPS. Despite countless obstacles in Albert Einstein's life, he always found the will deep within himself to keep going for the quest for the truth. Though he was your typical neighbor who did not wear socks and never combed his hair, he was in other ways a rare breed who dared to challenge the foundations of modern physics. He made profound discoveries by merely doing thought experiments in his head and questioning the very foundation of our universe, thereby unlocking centuries of mysteries and opening a new window into the universe. I think it's safe to say, looking back, that not only was he successful, but his reach was greater than that of any man in understanding our universe that much more finitely. Through persistence of a never-die attitude, he became one of the smartest men. If there's anything to learn from Einstein's life, it's to never give up, because success doesn't come easy. While the word genius may invoke a God-given ability, one still has to do the work to be remembered as such. Thank you.